Hey, Ryan Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com. And boy, I'll tell you, if your week's been anything like mine, you're kind of exhausted. And added to that, I've been torturing about how I'm going to explain this concept to you. And the concept is called biamping, also triamping and quadamping. So the general concept is, first of all, the more sound that you're going to drive through your PA system, the bigger and louder your band is and the bigger the room that you have to cover is, the more PA you need. Do not try to go out with a dinky 1 or 200 watt PA system and drive your drums and bass through it. Not even fake drums and bass through something small like that. Not without some kind of a woofer speaker to handle the low end. And why is that? Well, the low frequencies of a large band, particularly bass and the bass drum, bass guitar and the bass drum, sap the power really quick. They're extremely long waves, and we'll get into why at some point here soon. But those are extremely long waves that take a lot of power to drive. Now, imagine you've got a PA board and all your mics and everything are coming into that PA board, and the signal comes out of that PA board and it's headed to an amplifier, and that amplifier goes to a speaker. Okay, so PA head to an amplifier to a speaker. Okay. Before you get to the amplifiers, the signal can go to something called an active crossover. The active crossover takes the frequencies and it sends the low frequencies to a big honkin' amplifier that drives a big honkin' set of subwoofers. And then the other frequencies, the mids and the highs, get sent to a separate amplifier that drives the mid-range and the high speakers. And that means when your bass player hits a low note, or a keyboard player hits something extremely low on the keyboard, or your bass drum really needs to thump, then it's being handled by a specialized amp. And the entire power draw is not drawing your overall sound down and is not pushing your equipment into a distortion. And that distortion, you might not even be able to hear it, but it's robbing the clarity of your highs if you're just going through one amp. This divides into amps that allows the amps to specialize on what they're amplifying. And that's a very good thing. It runs a whole lot more efficiently. Now, you can split it into the three for triamping. You can send low frequencies to a low amplifier and speaker set. You can send mid-range to a mid amplifier and speaker set. And you can set in the high frequencies to like tweeters and their own amplifier driving the tweeters. You can quad amp and split it into four, especially on the super high end. When I was with my band Prima Donna, probably 30 years ago now, traveling up and down the East Coast, we not only had a quad amp system, we were in stereo, and that's a whole nother, it means you got twice as many problems when you have a problem. And basically it's two amplifiers, but you really don't run a stereo picture. We're going to get into that part later. So it's a little hard to understand this concept without visual aids. If you'd like to see some of those, I've got them in a great little book called the Gigster Clinic Textbook, and also you can see some illustrations in the Gigster Clinic Live Sound DVD and Companion Volume, and those can both be found at www.gigsterclinics.com. But stay with me here. You don't really need to buy that if you don't want to. It just kind of puts all the information in one place. And I am Ryan Michael Galloway, coming to you from We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com. Thanks a bunch.